Hi, my name is Veena Vijayan. Welcome to Kunya Institute of IAS Examination. Today we are here to talk about certain interesting places that is in news for very interesting reasons. Let's talk about Maldives first. Maldives and India, though we had a very good relationship, very good friendship since 1965, we have been going through this rough patch since the change of government since 2023. So these past few months, the decisions made by the Maldives government and the relationship between Maldives and India has been facing certain rift because of the same. So when we talk about Maldives, we know that this is the Lakshadweep group of islands, and towards the southern part comes the Maldives archipelago. In the sense, firstly, it's a group of islands. So Maldives is a group of islands which makes it an archipelago. The northernmost island is the Turakuno Island, and the southernmost is the Gan Island. And something interesting about Gan Island it is the largest island among the entire archipelago. So, since we are talking about the relationship, what exactly happened with India and Maldives relationship? Since the change of government, that is, since Mohammad Muizzu, the decisions taken by the Maldives focused on one main theme, India out campaign. And this is not something that is very welcomed in India, especially since the relationship dates back to 1965. Maldives also chose to withdraw from the hydrography project, the agreement that they had. And the initial days of Muizzu government, the visit was not focused towards India, which was a tradition for Maldives immediately after the election, which is also very interesting process where, unlike India, Maldives has a direct election campaign for president and vice president. Immediately after the elections, president used to visit India to strengthen the age-old friendship that we had. But this time, that wasn't the case. Maldives visited China instead of India, and Turkey instead of India. And this is a very challenging position for our relationship. And this puts India in a very tough space as well. And this whole tussle came into focus through social media out of nowhere when PM Modi visited Lakshadweep. This was taken as a rift or added fuel because the government, certain ministers in the Maldivian government, assumed that Indian government are promoting Lakshadweep over Maldives. Because we all know that almost a good number, almost 50% of the tourists in Maldives is Indians. They are Indians. And this wasn't a positive take by the ministers of Maldives. Learning more about Maldives, the political scenario of Maldives is quite interesting. The head of the state and the government is the president. He is assisted by the vice president and the cabinet itself. And the president and vice president, unlike in India, are directly elected by adult suffrage. And they run for 2 terms of 5 years. They can only run for 2 times a 5-year term. This is completely different from the Indian setup, so that is something that you can keep in mind. Very interesting for UPSC as well. Further, though the government of Maldives did not welcome this as their own decision, social media had fueled the entire scenario. They are blown up out of proportion. Though the ministers were suspended and the posts were taken down, this wasn't the case. This wasn't welcomed by the Indians. So Maldives became a point of discussion throughout India for all the wrong reasons. Now let's compare Lakshadweep and Maldives, the geographical points that we need to take care of when it comes to UPSC. So, just like Maldives, Lakshadweep is also an archipelago. This is Maldives, and this is Gan Island. This is Turakuno Island. Now, when it comes to Lakshadweep, we have 3 sets. This is Minicoy Island, This is Amandivi. And this is Lakshadweep. This group is separated by 9-degree channel, and Minicoy and the Maldive group is separated by 8-degree channel. So these two things are something interesting that we need to keep in mind when it comes to UPSC examination. Now, I hope that we have a rough idea about the Maldive-India tussle. One thing that might come in handy for the mains examination is that how this particular relationship, how the response of the public in India and Maldives will be a complete, new take on this topic, in the sense that we can't completely be against a particular country, either for India or for Maldives. This relationship has to be, this is a geopolitical relationship. And it's not about human emotions here, it's about the geopolitical status, the geopolitical relationship that we have. So when it comes to such things, we need to be more aware of what the end picture will look like. So if we're talking about the future of the countries, we need to consider how much of a wave this is gonna be. Like, it's gonna hit all the wrong places for both the countries. The tourism, when it comes to tourism itself, the flight, the economic conditions, everything is dependent on this. So for both the countries, it's gonna be a challenge. The same way, the future of both the countries depend on a very harmonious relationship. And the geopolitical scenario can be in a better place if the leaders of both the countries find themselves at a balanced place. And that's all about Maldive-India relationship. Thank you so much.